Yeah, boy, this is gonna be very hard to talk about. Not because it's one of the best movies ever made, but I just want to say this before I get into the review: is that 1939 was a huge impact in the movie industry. So, to celebrate this, there are three movies that came out that year that I want to review. So I'm gonna tomorrow I'll have the reviews up for those two other movies, and hopefully I can get back to my Best Picture winner list. I don't know. It's just 1939 is a massive year. It really was a landmark for Hollywood and for future movies in more ways than one. So this is my plan. I'm gonna review this one, and then I'm gonna review the two other movies that were really big that year. Well, one of them was not that big, but it became big after a while. So that's my future plans. And until then, I'm gonna talk about this one, and hopefully I can get this one correct because, like I said, it's one of the best movies of all time, and it's really hard to talk about because you just cannot say that something in this movie is okay. You just can't. Okay, the movie that won Best Picture that year was Gone with the Wind. Now, Gone with the Wind is the first movie ever to win 10 Oscars. It is literally up there. It was the first one up there. It was the Best Picture winner that year. And the second movie that this director has made that is in the three movies that I was talking about. Yeah. It was also the highest grossing movie of all time. If you think, now that you think that Endgame now is the highest grossing movie of all time, this movie started it. This movie was massively popular, and even though the movie's 3 hours long, no wait, 4 hours long, yeah, this movie is really long. And somehow this movie feels really short. Why? Because it's absolutely enjoyable. I can't think of a part that I would cut out of this movie. The movie stars Clark Gable and Vivian Lee. Vivian Lee plays Scarlett O'Hara. She's the rich girl. She's a Southerner and basically living the rich life. Especially this takes place during the Civil War. So yes, she owns slaves and all such. And you know, you can give all credit. You can say all you want about that. It's, yeah, like I said, it's really hard to really talk about this film without bringing up a couple of controversial topics, especially since the South used to own slaves and everything. Well, Scarlett, I gotta say, is, if I could say bitch, that is a bit of an understatement because she kind of is. I'm gonna say that. And she's always high-pitched talking, always the one that has to get her way, and none of the girls like her, but all the guys love her, which tells me one thing. Oh man, is she just doing this just for the sake of pissing everybody off, or is she a gold-digging whore? I'm not sure. Yeah. But when I'm watching Vivian Lee's performance in this movie, I gotta say to myself, wow, she sounds pretty good for a woman who smokes 4 packs of cigarettes a day. No, seriously, look that up on her IMDb page. Seriously, after this video, go look that up because you're gonna be thinking, how is that possible? How long did she live after this? Well, not long. I can say that. Anyway, Clark Gable's also in this movie. He plays Rhett Butler. Yes, I know his characters very well because, like I said, this movie's very enjoyable, and it just pulls you in all the time. You just really like this movie. Hold on, I got a drink. Mountain Dew. There's your sponsor. Anyway, Clark Gable is supposedly the richest man in the South. And he's an asshole. So you can kind of say that they are the perfect couple with each other. No, seriously, the first time they ever meet each other, Scarlett goes, "Sir, you are no gentleman," and Rhett goes, "And you, miss, are no lady." So really, their first conversation is basically the best. the South is planning to go into the Civil War because they want to fight the North because they believe the Northerners are a bunch of poor men because they have no slaves. We're hunters, and the South are hunters and know how to shoot. It would be ending in less than a few weeks because that's gonna happen. If anyone knows the Civil War. And she is in love with a guy named Ashley, and Ashley wants to marry this girl named Mary, who is his cousin. Traditions were weird back then. Oh, man. And so she confesses her love to him, but he turns her down and everything. That was the first time Rhett ever meets her. And she's like, "Sir, you should have introduced yourself." And he said, in the middle of that beautiful love scene? No way. So it's a picture piece that really builds up on their relationship between Scarlett and Rhett. Rhett falls in love with her because she is like no other woman that he has ever known. All ladies in the South have to be ladies. They have to be nice, proper, and always have to take their naps in the middle of the day, and all that such. This is no lady. Scarlett is not a lady in that sense. And Brett is not like any other rich guy that you really know. I mean, he acts rich, he talks rich, but in reality, you know exactly who this guy is. It's hard to describe him. But one of the characters that really does steal the scenes in this movie is her black nanny. Her name is Mammy. I am not saying this to be mean. That is actually her name in this movie. It's probably the reason why this movie will not be made today. And to call her performance really good is a bit of an understatement. She's the first African American ever to win an Oscar for this performance alone. So that really does say something, especially in that time period when that type of topic was controversial. But she was definitely a scene stealer. Whenever she was on it, she knows how to put Scarlett in her place. That is always fun to watch. And all such. So yeah, it's part Civil War movie, part romance movie. And, well, I watched this with my girlfriend a while back, and she was the one that told me, "Is it weird that I find the romance part of this movie a lot more interesting than the Civil War part?" I mean, the Civil War part is good and all such, but like I said, the romance between Scarlett and Rhett, it's so enjoyable. They're not like, "Oh, I need you now. Oh, I need you now. I love you so much, I'll never love anyone as much as you." They're not like that at all. They're basically, they pick on each other. They're always messing with each other. They always, whenever they leave each other in this story, whenever they separate, they always talk like they plan to never see each other again, only to come back together and it's a full circle again. And you can tell that these two absolutely enjoy being together and everything. The only thing that really gets people mad is the ending, the way the movie ends. In fact, as I know from history, they actually asked, what the hell is the author's name of the book? Margaret Mitchell, she was still alive at the time. They asked her if she can make a sequel to this movie. And she said, "No, I'm not going to make a sequel to this movie because I absolutely believe the ending is legit. That's how it's supposed to end." And knowing a lot of girls nowadays, yeah, they won't like this ending at all. So, just to keep that in mind, especially with this woke culture and such that's going on and everything, if this movie basically has a strong female character, but really knows how to put things into place. But you will not like the ending, because like I said, you really do enjoy these characters so much. You don't want anything really bad to happen to them, but then again, it's the Civil War. A lot of bad things happen. No such. You want to see it build up after the Civil War and everything. Well, what I'm going to say about the end is, well, came out of nowhere for me because I didn't read the book. So when I watched it, it's a 4-hour long movie. I'm going to remind you, it's a 4-hour long movie. Once when the ending happened, I was like, wait, that's it? That's the ending? That's the ending we get? It didn't even feel like 4 hours. It felt like just a couple of hours. And that is strong. That is strong storytelling. The fact that something is so enjoyable that it feels like just a couple of hours instead of many hours. And I don't think I see another Best Picture like that until I see like Ben-Hur or Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, despite the ending of that movie as well. But I'm gonna say Gone with the Wind. Everything you've heard about it, if you don't know what Gone with the Wind is, ask your grandparents, they will know, or ask your parents, they will probably know. And everything, they'll probably have a copy of it at their house. You can watch it there, you can see it yourself. I say it's a simple must-watch. It is a landmark. Everything you probably heard about it is definitely true. It definitely deserved the praise it got, despite, you know, some racial controversy of it. But then again, it's 1939. What do you expect? I don't like slavery at all. But like I said, what they do with the slaves is they don't really have them much on screen except for Mammy. Which I think that is okay, because Mammy was such a good performance that you gotta praise the actress that did it to get an Oscar for it, because it is a really good performance. I like it. Basically, all three of them did an outstanding performance. Vivien Leigh, Clark Gable, and I cannot remember her name. Man, I feel like a dick right now. But anyway, it's a fantastic movie. Definitely a classic. I would, watch it several times because I absolutely enjoy the colors, the backgrounds, the downfall of the South, and the rise up of the relationship. I absolutely enjoyed it. This movie is definitely legendary. It is legendary squared. That's what it is. So guys, Gone with the Wind, have you seen it? And what did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.